is physical wealth.
Hello, hello, hello. Today is August 18th, 2025, and I really appreciate everyone that's come, all the viewers that's been following, and all the new viewers. I really appreciate you guys. I'm late today. I know I should have started at the top of the hour, but as an icebreaker, I'm going to tell you what happened. Life be life, and let me tell you. Okay, so earlier today, I'm rushing to get ready. I get a call. Now, I'm blessed that my kids are military brats because we're military family. I'm blessed because they're alive and we able to, keep them alive through the grace of God and a lot of really, really good medical professionals because my sons are blessed to attend the best lung specialist hospital in the nation. So I am blessed in that regard. So it's wonderful. But it's like, first let me say I'm doing this show as a volunteer episode to help with mental health and improve mental health well-being and talk some business sometime and talk about things and enjoy that you're doing that help you understand that you live in an adroit life. Hey, Sean Anthony, it is a live stream and you get to make comment. So let's discuss some things. But as the icebreaker, I'm gonna continue to tell you why I'm late. So as I'm getting ready, the nurse calls and she says, "Well, the doctor's going to be sick on a day you're scheduled to come in," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So anyway, it's a new fellow, and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." My first language is body language. My second language is English. Okay, English is not my first language. And I can read in between the lines. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Have the attendant doctor, who has been our attendant doctor for almost 20 years, to give me a call. Let's discuss what's going on. So another registered nurse calls me. She claims to be his nurse, but then she says she's not his nurse. She's everybody's nurse. So here we go with the shenanigans and the word games and all this BS, right? I tell you, the people bleed money. And then anyway, so you blessed to be able to have patients that actually come to the doctor and make these doctor's appointments, regardless of all the road work that's going on, all the construction, all of the difficulties finding parking, and even handicap parking, okay? Because now everybody has a placard, okay? So it's difficult to find parking. It's difficult to find people who have the money to pay for insurance so that people and their family can and loved ones can go to see a doctor. And you mean to tell me you're gonna play these games? Okay, so we're gonna talk about it. So we the topic today is bleeding money. Are you bleeding money? And I know how to reach CEOs, um, um, what is it, board of directors and stockholders and stakeholders and investors. I know how to get their ear and I know who they are because I know who I'm patronizing and who I'm putting money in their pockets. It's a lot of people who are patronizing organization and have no idea who they put money in their pocket. You don't know who pockets you filling up with money. And it's a lot of people who need to know. And I love the fact that you guys come to this episode to see facts. You come to the Erudition Network to see facts. And I got some facts for you. You ask yourself if you bleed money as you watch the show and as we talk about it. So comment, share, vent if that's what's going to help you with your mental health and well-being. The question is, are you bleeding money? The answer is conditioned thinking winning? That's your answer. I know it's a question, but yes, you can answer a question with a question. Think about it. You're conditioned to not use Pisces and Poesis of the natural raw materials of resources that the world provides already naturally. So you're really being conditioned to bleed money, because now you're paying other people to make these products for you in order for you to utilize. For example, today I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and just shampoo and condition my hair and Rev Air. Now, if you are not using a Rev Air because you don't know about it, let me tell you, that Rev Air is awesome. This Rev Air right here, I have 4C hair, and we were really, bleeding money because I'm using all this money for products, and I'm using money to get a perm. I'm using money to buy all these kinds of different things, products to put in my hair. My hair doesn't have any products in it. The only thing I did was Rev aired it after I blow dried. I mean, after I shampooed it and conditioned it, I used the Rev Air. And this is what my hair looks like before I do other things like wrap it with a satin scarf, put rollers in it, and anything else. I also use this. Now, I know a lot of people was hyping it up, this Taimu Air 2 curler flat iron. And that's what normally when you see me, that is what I've done with my hair. But I don't put a lot of expensive products in my hair. The only reason why I have this this Taimu Air 2 is because my mother gifted it to me for my birthday. So that's why you can see it's purchased on May 10th, because my birthday May 4th. So I've been using it for a while. I like the way it is, because I was bleeding money and I didn't like that. So I had to figure out, what am I doing? How am I bleeding money? So I started to examine myself, examine my lifestyle, examine my day-to-day, examine my routines, and figure out, where can I stop it up. Now, these products I'm talking about, I'm not sponsored, but I'm talking about it because they're safe products to talk about, because they ask you to talk about their products. And a lot of times you will see me, and I've applied this hair product to my hair, and my sons, I hook their hair up. They have braids, twists, whatever style they want. Because when they said she's every woman, I'm every woman, yeah, I took it literal. So I use that product in order to keep their hair looking clean, looking shiny, looking smooth, and hold. It has that long lasting hold. So I'm not doing their hair but once every 30 days, if that. And as for me, my hair, it'll stay like this for 30 days. Even with 4C hair, and using the Taimu, and using the Rev Air. Using the Rev Air makes my 4C hair more susceptible to being um, um, flexible. Because with 4C hair, it normally look like this. Okay? And that walking around with folks here looking like that. I'm not. So I use all of these products, and I was using a bunch of products, and those products are expensive. And it all depends on the brand that you're patronizing, how much money that costs. You can spend upwards of $100 for a small bottle of a product like this. This is not $100. This at max, I've seen it $17 for the biggest container that they have. But I didn't pay a lot of money for the products that I use in my hair. Uh, but I was still bleeding unnecessary funds, which was chipping away at our income, because the money we're getting in, it's like, okay, it's flexing, because you change from active duty military lifestyle to civilian lifestyle, and now the money is not like you would imagine, that steady flow that you have. It's unpredictable. And even though being in the military, you have a steady income, it's still flexible, because you don't know what's going to come up, when a deployment's going to come, when they're going to furlough, and when they're going to have all of these issues. And it drives you absolutely mad, because you can't track how how you're going to be able to spend the money, how you going to be able to cover your bills, how you going to be able to afford groceries. So it was an all the time thing. And you got to find ways that you are spending money in an unnecessary way. What can you do to change that? Now you see, I'm barefaced all the time, but even more so noticeable now that I've done the whole natural hair thing. So I haven't put any products in my hair. It's totally natural. I cut the perm out of my hair, I think 4 years ago, out in October of this year, and it was 3 inches long. And let me tell you, it's that rev air. When I revved it, my hair was all the way down here because the rev will stretch your hair and and in the process of drying your hair, it straightens your hair. But as 4C natural hair, you got that shrinkage. And this, regardless of if you use the Rev Air or not, that shrinkage without any further manipulation is still going to happen. That's how you know you're not messing up your natural hair with using this product. It's a lot of products that people are using and they're messing up their natural hair, which is then in turn causing them to use more money to purchase more products in order to get the look they're going for. So to go from something like your natural hair, let's say this hairstyle, that's your natural look, and you trying to go from that natural look to something more like this. And it's a process. And you can't spend a whole lot of money doing it if in this economy, if you're trying to survive in this current economy. So are you bleeding money? Can you stop bleeding money? You can use these products and limit a lot of the other products that you're actually using. For example, like I said, I use this product from Baskin Leather a lot, and they want you to tell what your experience is. So I'm just telling you what my experience is. I love the way they inform their patrons that, hey, we're not cheating you. We let you know it's packed by weight, not volume. So don't call us telling us if it looked like one of these pictures that we gypped you just because the product shifted in transition. I love that because they're showing that they care about your mental health, well-being. They care about you returning as a customer. They care to show you what you're going to expect and help you to realize, look, if it don't look like this, it's still the same. It's still the same. I love that. Plus, it's affordable and they have discount sales. And when they have those discount sales, you better grab it because it's a good product. And when you don't grab these products when they are on sale, yeah, you bleeding a bit of money because you want the same experience. And it's difficult to get the same experience that you expect when it's like the outcomes vary. I've been using this Rev Air for a couple of months consecutively. I have had positive experiences, and I didn't just jump in and jump on trends. This product, I researched it for a few years, and I watched a lot of videos where a lot of people were sharing their lived experience with it and showing exactly how they used it, how it comes out. And surely enough, I thought about it, and as I was revving my hair, I was like, the hair was coming down too far, and I don't want viewers' eyes going all the way down there. Like I'm trying to, clickbait somebody. So I didn't do that. I'm just going to continue to present the facts to you as they are. But this is a part of the raw materials that you use in order to make what you want. These people who the products that I'm talking about, as far as the Rev Air and this Baskin Leather, they used raw materials in order to produce the things that people want to see, people need, and they're trying to get these things in a way that helps improve their mental health, as well as it's not hitting them in the pocket so hard. Because there's this thing that a lot of people are talking about lately, and a lot of people talking about it because it's causing a great deal of mental strain. People are saying that, For example, there was this one group I belonged to, this marital group, and the guy said, he created a thread, and he said, "Does it cost $1,500 for my wife to get some braids? Can y'all tell me before I give her this money?" Now the thing about it is, the $1,500 is a whole lot of money to go get your hair done. But yes, it costs more than $1,500 to go and get your hair done in a nice way, in a beautiful style that's going to last. It's upwards of $3,000. But do you need to do that in order to accomplish a really nice hairstyle? And I'm gonna tell you, I did not pay upwards of $3,000 to get this hairstyle, where I used the Rev Air, and I used the what is it? I used the Rev Air, and I used this Timu 2, this Timu Air 2. Now, I don't like using hot curlers because it makes your hair smell funny, and I don't like that smell. But I noticed with the Timu Air 2 that it may have a little hint of that smell, but it goes away far faster than it would if you were to go to a salon and get it done, or if you were to do it at home by yourself. That it doesn't have that lingering odor that smells like cooked hair, or hair that's been heated, or whatever you want to call it. So now I'm not bleeding money trying to get rid of that or mask that smell or whatever. So those raw materials that's been used and in the way that they've been manipulated, so that it's actually nourishing your ability to lessen how much money you're actually spending on products that's achieving the same goals that and meeting the expectations. And the reason why I'm talking about these products and not just a particular organization is because they ask you to say. So I'm not saying anything bad, or I'm not doing anything that they didn't already ask to be done. So, but what I'm doing is I'm presenting the facts to you in a way that can help you stop bleeding money too, if that's what you choose to do. Because you have to find ways to use products, especially in this economy, in a way that will save you money and help improve your mental health, because you're accomplishing the same goal with less money, less materials. Okay. Now, uh when I finally comb my hair, it's gonna look just the way you've seen it in other videos. I don't normally wear my hair all the way down, and there's still some shrinkage going, because as I can see, it's going up and up and up the longer it's been away from the heat and not having applied any products. But uh you have to think about it as a creator does. When they're creating products, a lot of times it's coming out of the need that they have, and the fact that they don't have the products that they need to use. A lot of the times, due to unique challenges such as that this economy is presenting to everyone, when you're furloughed, when you're unexpectedly terminated, when when the economy shuts down and you don't have any money and you don't have any way to make money, but you still have the needs. The needs didn't go away. You still need to pay your mortgage, but I don't look presentable enough to be in public. Okay, well, we need to find a way, because we got to pay that mortgage. God didn't bless you with that house for you to use the money to pay the mortgage in order to divert those mortgage funds to other things. So you need to use that money to pay that mortgage. Okay. You need to use the money to pay your mortgage, but the mortgage price is ridiculous now. So now you got to cut back even more on some things, because you bleed in money, and you notice that you bleed in money because now it's a lot more difficult to make ends meet. You can't make your checks last from check to check anymore. When you was living already from check to check, you can't make it stretch from check to check anymore. In the middle of the month, you don't have no money. You overdrafting, okay? If it even wait to the middle of the month, you overdrafting. You are getting a six-figure income. I see the TikToks, I see the social media posts. You're making a six-figure income, but you still fail to make ends meet. You still fail to be able to live this lifestyle, live in this economy without running out of funds. You're bleeding money. That's what you're understanding. Even if you're not conveying it in that way, you're saying, I'm bleeding money and somebody got to help me because I'm losing my mind. I'm working hard every day, but I'm bleeding money. How am I bleeding money if I'm going to work every day? I'm barely getting a vacation because I need the money. I'm barely going to go to school so I could get more money so I can get qualified for other positions so I could get more money because I'm already bleeding money. What can I do? You got to cut corners somewhere. You still have to eat. You still have to go to school, go to work, whatever it is that you go, send your kids to school. And that's money. And then there's money that you have to pay for the kids to be able to attend school. Even if it's public school, they still have expenses. So you got to find a way to cut corners. And now with the kids going back to school in this economy, where we're having this tariffs war, we are very much aware that we're bleeding money, even if we don't say it that way, even if we use a different terminology, we're understanding that it's far more difficult to meet the everyday needs if we do not figure out how we're bleeding money and figure out how to cut these corners. You might not be able to afford that facial wax. You might have to go barefaced, baby. You see, I already don't care. That mustache you see right there, it can stay right where it's at. I'm just saying. You know how much they want for a wax? You know how much money it costs to look like this? I didn't pay that. I didn't pay that. I'm telling you. All I did was I paid to get this Rev Air, and that's what I have used. That's all you seeing right here. I cut a lot of expenses out by using that product. I've used a lot of different products. I have had I don't know what the difference is between the Jerry curl and the curl, but I had them both. Okay. I had the Wave Nouveau. I have had different hairstyles. I have cut my hair to be cute into the cute styles that was trending or whatever. But what did I do? I realized that's a lot of money, and in this economy that we're currently in, we can't afford it. Even if we had the money, the matter is that you can't afford it because you can no longer predict the income and the the expenses and the how much money you're getting in and how much you're putting out. I'm trying so hard to find the most remedial way to say it. So if I'm only getting in a amount of money that's really fluctuating and it's uncertain and it's never steady, especially with these furloughs and all of this downsizing. Okay, everybody's downsizing, talking about, well, we're cutting corners as a organization because we saving money, we saving America money, so everybody's losing their job. You need to find a way to say, okay, I'm okay with that, but your money is fluctuating so much and your expenses are staying steady or increasing. So you're bleeding money because you don't have the money coming in. The money going out faster than it's coming in, and it's unsteady the way it's not a steady flow. You don't have a steady revenue flow as a household. Even if everybody in the household, you and your husband or your better half, y'all both making six-figure income, and you have children, you have yourself and maybe two kids, maybe one kid, and they're going to school in this economy, you still will have struggles making ends meet in this economy. You're still going to have shortcomings by the middle of the month that you didn't have in the economy prior to this economy, because the way these things are set up in this current economy, you're bleeding money. How do you stop bleeding money? You got to recognize it in order to stop it. And if you can't recognize it, then you will continue to spend money in ways that you could have avoided and it'll be too late by the time you realize, man, you mean to tell me I could have got that sheen in my hair without using any of these expensive products? All the hair, I use about 5 different types of hair products to put in my hair, and all of them are expensive as all get out. And you mean to tell me all I had to do was buy this Rev Air? I could tell you, but I can't force you. I'm just saying. You mean to tell me I could get a hold in my hair where I can get these flyaways under control, and all I have to do is buy me a little bottle of Baskin leather edge control? I can tell you. And you could see it on my show because those are the products that I'm using on a regular. So, and you see, I got the salon look without the salon prices. And then here I use the Timo Air most recently, quite often since May 10th. And yeah, that's the outcome. That's that salon look without the salon prices. That's at home. And no, it's outside the quarantine. We don't have the quarantine right now, but we're not bleeding money. And just because, a lot of people developed a few um, adroit skills when they had the pandemic quarantine, they discovered I can save money by doing this. I can save money by doing that. After they stopped griping about the fact that they had to stay home. But yeah, it's like a pattern of behavior where you're conditioned mentally and physically to think and behave in a manner in which you are bleeding money subconsciously, and you don't realize it until you physically get fed up and you're saying, I don't understand how I'm working so hard every day, and no matter what I do, I'm slowly getting further behind as opposed to advancing as I expected. I can't meet the goals of retiring. I can't meet the goals of having a more relaxed work schedule. How is this happening? And it's really chipping away at your mental health, at you having stable mental health, because these things are happening so often. And by the time you realize it, you just can't take it anymore, and you just want something to change it for in your favor. You want things to improve in your favor because now you're like, I can't take it anymore. What is going on? Why is this happening to me? Well, a lot of times, um I'm gonna make it really simple for you right now for free. um After some time of going, with the flow and purchasing these big ticket items and seeing how it works, and okay, I'm gonna go along with it, I'm gonna pay into it because the economy was favorable at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with the flow. But then while I was going with the flow, I realized something. I was like, man, I feel like somebody getting the better of me. So I concluded I don't have to pay all that money in order to just get along. What I can do is I modify these things so that it fits me better. And how did I come to conclude that? Well, when I was in high school, I was told, don't go to a Catholic school, don't go to a private school, because the public school is where all the cool kids at. So go there, go there. So I went there instead of going to a private school. And that's where I learned so many invaluable lessons that it's ridiculous. I was in this math class with this teacher who was well overqualified for his position, um, Mr. Akaka Baraka. I can't pronounce his name. I'm terrible with names, but he was well overqualified, and he taught us how to use the Texas Instrument 82, I think it was at the time. But that was an expensive calculator for some kid in public school who doesn't have the money to get a Texas Instrument. So I was forced to use my brain, and I had to still keep up with the rest of the class. So that conditioned me, due to my unique challenges, it conditioned me to meet the expectation with the raw materials that I had to work with. So that became a habit for me. I was conditioned in that manner. Whereas then looking back on it, now hindsight is 2020, I saw how the others were conditioned to rely on these other things doing the work for them. So as I got older, I started to understand I'll go along to get along. I'll pay all that money at first, but I'm pay it to learn. And then I'm gonna modify things according to suit my needs. So now I'm not paying all of that extra money on a regular basis to get the same outcome. Now I'm not necessarily using the exact raw materials, but I'm using what they supply, but I'm modifying it to meet my needs. So I'm not paying a lot of money to, for example, with the aquariums, I show you the products that I use for the aquarium, and then I show you how I modify it so that I'm not paying extra money to get the filters, extra money to get that crystal clear look that you see back there. I'm not paying extra money and bleeding money in order to get the desired outcome, in order to enjoy the things that I like to enjoy, the things that's improving my mental health. And I learned that the hard way. I learned that in high school. A lot of the times we think God put more on us than we can bear, but really he's allowing you to experience everything you need, just going to prepare you for everything that's coming down the pipeline for you. That's what you have to understand. So yeah, I struggled in that class, but I met the requirements and I did what I had to do. And thank God I was blessed to be a scholar. Imagine that. I was listed as a scholar and I'm doing this. Meanwhile, everybody getting them answers real quick. And I'm paper and penning it, paper and penning, not penning, but paper and pencil because it's math. But in the other classes, it was the paper and pen because I got to write them notes because I didn't have the money to get the devices that everybody else had. So when I got to college, I learned, okay, in order to take notes, we're not using pencils and pens. We're using recording devices. And those recording devices help to save money because it is no longer about what you say. Is no longer hearsay. It's what you can prove. And then come to find, lawyers will tell you it's not about what's right and what's true and honest. It's about what you can prove. So all of that paper trail, all of those recordings, all of that stuff, it actually saves money in the long run. So you're not bleeding money because it's no longer your word against anyone else's. It's a recorder. It's a recorder. So I don't have to tell you, you don't have to think some type of way about anything that I'm saying. And you don't have to say, well, you said that because you don't like me, or you falsely claiming that because you thinking it wrong. I didn't say that. Check the recording. Don't tell me that I heard you wrong. Don't tell me you didn't say that when you spoke with me. If you're recording me, I'm recording too. I have a copy too. And that's saving me money. That's saving me mental strain. That's helping me build up a more stable foundation for mental health. That's why my mental health is like, wow, we good. Regardless of this economy, we good because I learned the hard way through those unique challenges and having to modify my life so that I could accomplish the same goals with less, because that's what I was working with. I had to live adroitly. That's where I get the name Adroit Living from, because I lived adroitly. So when you having these unique situations and you overcome them, it's then classified as a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon because it's phenomenal how you did that using just what you had. With your adroit living skills, you overcame, it's phenomenal. We want to study you. We want to know, how did you do it? We want to know how you made it. We want to know, how did you accomplish the same goal that somebody else is paying a whole lot of money for? How did you do it? What corners did you cut? How much did it cost you? I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. For that rare there, I didn't pay all of that money. It was on sale. My husband caught it on sale, and we was able to cut some corners. Y'all better catch them sales. Um, so that's definitely helpful as well, to help you to stop bleeding money. And I already told you how you could have a hobby, the aquarium hobby, and cut some corners. And I showed you how, in hindsight, that is phenomenal. That's phenomenal. So the reason why I use the aquarium hobby as an example is because some people know how expensive it is, or can be, to have an aquarium, to have a discus fish. But Jack Watley, that's the person that I order my fish from. And before that, Uncle Sam Fish, I think it's called Uncle Sam, but they're out of business now due to the economy. And I didn't pay $50 for a fish. I'm not gonna pay $50 for a freaking aquarium fish. A little bitty fish. I'm not doing it. I don't care how long it's supposed to live. I'm not doing it. Jack Watley understood the assignment, and he made the discus fish, which is very expensive. You could pay upwards to $100 for just one fish. He understood the assignment, and he made it affordable. So I patronized his organization, and I don't mind telling people. And then he's an honest uh, uh, businessman. He's an honest person. He has integrity, and he's not trying to get people on the comeback. And he also asks for people to share their experiences. And this is my experience. I studied it for a few years. I researched it. I watched and watched, and I'm still watching. I'm still watching him. I'm still watching Baskin Leather. I'm still watching Rev Air. I'm still watching Taimu. I'm still watching them. Why? Because people can change on you in the blink of an eye, and then people will still be patronizing the people that you're sending to them, using the facts of your lived experiences and the things that you've researched to show everybody, but they changed. So you have to be ready, especially if you've ever said anybody or recommended it to anybody. You have to be ready to tell people to update. That follow through is important, and I do the follow through. I'm diligent with the follow through. So when it changed, I tell people, "Yep, nope, my experience is changed." So don't do it. Don't do it. But right now, as of right now, these are the products and brands that I'm patronizing, because that it works. They're honest. They have integrity, meaning they're not waiting to know who you are in order to do their freaking job right. I hate that. I hate it when you don't do your job because you don't know who I am. So you're going to mistreat me. You're going to try to jip me. You're going to try to rip me off. You're going to try to give me a terrible experience because you have no idea who I am. You don't have to know who I am if you have integrity. But I am the type that I'm going to tell. I am that one that I'm going to find the stockholders, shareholders, and investors. I'm going to put a bug in their ear. They going to know. And then the word going to spread. Why is the word going to spread? Because somebody know facts. Because they know somebody who they trust. Now, I don't talk about my business even when asked, because I freelance and I do volunteer efforts such as this one. And I donate my time in different ways. And the reason why I do that is because there's a lot of people who have the need, but they don't have the funds. And the funds will come, especially when you're generous in the way that I try to be generous and do these things. And people, they respect that. They appreciate that. And later, they help sustain my ability to live. And I don't just spend all of my money in one place. I hold on to it, and I cut corners. I keep cutting corners because you never know when you're going to be bleeding money. And it's not about the economy more so than it's about your particular conditioned thinking. Is your conditioned thinking costing you money. If you're thinking that you could continuously spend money because ends are meeting and money is abundance and all of that great stuff, you're thinking wrong. You can never gain generational wealth and sustain it and grow it the way you have the opportunity to, if that's your mindset, if that's the conditioned thinking that you have. Now, I have said on a number of occasions, because I think it bears repeating. A lot of people don't understand how they are, you know, how they're bleeding money. They don't understand what they can do. They don't understand a lot of things. And it's like, how can I help everybody? How can I help everybody? I would love to help everyone, but how can I do it? I have to find a way to help everyone in a way that it doesn't drain me. It doesn't take so much from me, because I can tell you, show financial interest in having this free information by supporting me financially, so that now I can direct my attention to doing this. But I can't be everywhere all the time. And a lot of people need something tangible to hold on to that can help them build that generational wealth that they're looking for, regardless of the economy. So what I did was I wrote this book. You could go to lulu.com, or you could go to Amazon, or wherever the book is sold, wherever books are sold, and ask or look for Generational Wealth, Information Asymmetry, and Your Success. I wrote that book with the psychology expertise that I have to jar you to formal logic. And that's going to help you understand the bare roots that's going to get you going in that conditioned thinking. Is going to help you to understand that you could continue to grow wealth without bleeding money despite the economy. And you can still have luxury, wonderful, great things, good outcome, but you don't have to spend all that money. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money in order to have that luxury experience. I'm just saying, that's why a lot of people call it a phenomenon, because you you kind of in the box for a while, then you're out of the box and everything looks like a Picasso. It's perspective based otherwise, in other words. And it's like, you mean to tell me we had the same materials to work with, but that was your outcome and this was mine? How did you do that? How did you get that far advanced and we had the same thing to work with? And now you have more wealth to work with than I do. How did you do that? And you seem to have really stable mental health. I'm stressing. How did you do that and not stress? And can you tell me how to not stress? Can you tell me how to cut these corners? How did you save money? How did you grow your wealth? I can tell you, but I can show you better than I can tell you. So get the book. Go get the book, Generational Wealth, Information Asymmetry, and Your Success, wherever books are sold. lulu.com is the best place to go. I'm not going to get rich by just one person buying the book. So, but remember, this is important because it's something tangible to hold on to, and it's going to help improve you in ways that you that's phenomenal. And you can't get that kind of outcome in a generic way. You'll understand if you get the book. You'll understand what I'm saying. Get the book. But it's like, uh, when you realize I'm not going to, constantly repurchase these expensive items because the economy is not permissive of me spending $100 for a discus or more. It's not It's not allowing me to spend $300 for a hairstyle, regardless of how long that hairstyle gonna hold up. It's not permissive of me being able to go grocery shopping and get the amount of groceries that I want to get. It's not permissive of a whole lot of things that I'm accustomed to. I gotta find a way to mod my life. I gotta modify my life. I mod it so that it suits you. It's not always about, oh, I got the money, I'm going to spend it. Because with the economy, it's shown you. You might have it today and it's gone tomorrow. You might have that six-figure gig today. You might lose it tomorrow. In the news, they reported that a DOD employee, federal employee, threw a sandwich at a police officer who was doing some things that the man believed to be unconstitutional. So he did it because he felt like, well, you being wrong, so I'm gonna be in the wrong too. It cost him his job, his six-figure job, which was probably not enough money to sustain him and his family anyway, given the economy. But I'm just saying, at least you had the job to lose. A lot of people are modifying their life because you don't have the predictable income coming in. Even if you have a career, you don't have the predictable income coming in. So you got to modify your life. So when you don't, when you're constantly leading that same lifestyle that you thought of just last year, imagine that. But now this year, you struggling. You barely making it, and the kids haven't even went to school yet. You barely bought school supplies last year. Okay, everybody's complaining about school supplies and student lunches and stuff. You barely made it last school year. Now look at this economy. Come on now. You know what I'm talking about. Whether you have children or not, you watch the news, you hear your friends complain about it, you hearing it somewhere. It's not above your understanding and your ear of knowledge. You know what's going on. You hearing people complain about it. What's going to happen now? You got to modify your life. You got to mod it. But because modifying things to suit your needs is logical, not just because the economy called for it. These are some trying times. We're in a recession and a depression. No, if you're doing this as a habit, because this is formal logic. If you're doing it as this is just your grassroots, this is the conditioning. This is the conditioning. And if you're not doing it, if you're failing to do it, it's a conditioned mindset. It's a conditioned thinking. And that's why you bleed in money. It's conditioned thinking costing you money. If you're thinking about the fact that you're not cutting costs and cutting corners and trying to find ways to save money more than you're spending money, yes, the conditioned thinking is costing you a lot of money. If you are finding ways as a regular routine, as a habit of it's habitual for you to find ways to cut costs. It's habitual for you to modify your life and adjust to, just be frugal. Not really, really, really tight wide, like you can't spend no money, but just, modest. Then your conditioned thinking is not costing you money. You striving right now. You thriving right now in this economy. Congratulations. Tell somebody how you did it. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling people how I did it. I'm just saying because a lot of people are asking, and it is an unintentional lesson in the struggle. Okay, it's an unintentional lesson in the struggle. It's an unintentional lesson in the unique challenges in my community. Me as a young person growing up in the world, learning as a black girl that was too black to be white and too white to be black. That was unique challenges in that I couldn't change. I there was nothing I could do about it but modify my life. There was some unintentional lessons that's prepared me for the situation I'm in now today. It grew me because it didn't destroy me. Your unique challenges can grow you. Just live through it. Live through it. It's not more than you can bear. It's preparing you for what you're getting ready to go through. And you're going to thrive in a situation, in a time, a place, in an era where everybody else is asking you, how did you make it? How did you do it? We have the same things. We have the same struggles, but how are you having a more sound mental health? How are you thriving when I'm struggling, when I'm stressed, when I don't know how you doing it? Can you share with me? Yes, I can, my friend. Why? One love, baby. I am because you are. I'ma help you. I don't have enemies. I just see people that I don't mind being in the trenches with. That's military life right there. I see people I don't mind being in the trenches with. And what's the other people? I don't see them because they removed themselves already. So when they in the trenches, I can't help who I can't see. You put yourself in that situation when you decided to put me in a unique challenge, which made us divided. You understand? I'm just telling you how it is. I'm just telling you how it is, and you have to understand. A lot of people they're not understanding, just like you not understanding. They want to know, just like you want to know. If somebody could have told me, I would have did what they said. Why? Because they lived the experience already. They know where the landmines are. They know what's going to happen. They know the diagnosis and the prognosis. They understand the assignment. I want to learn from them. I couldn't. I had to learn the hard way. And I'm sharing because mental health is physical wealth. And I never know when it's going to be a complete stranger that's going to reach out to help me when I'm in need. And let me tell you, I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for the kindness of strangers. And that was before this whole podcast situation started, long before Facebook ever started, long before MySpace. And it took me years before I joined any of those things because I'm watching, I'm researching, and I'm watching, and I'm looking for facts. And it's the facts that's going to put me in a situation that I can control so I don't end up putting more on myself than I can bear, then blaming God like, oh, God, you said you wouldn't put more on me than I can bear. What is this? What is those? Don't do that. A lot of times we're not understanding, but we want to understand. And we don't want somebody to just tell us, oh, you don't understand, and walk away and leave us hanging, leave us wondering, leave us wanting, leave us needing. So I don't mind coming on and volunteering my time and telling you free information and giving you free facts, free advice. Because if you thrive, then I can thrive even better. But not because I was preying on you as a predator to you, as a burden to you, but because I was helping you. I was helping you in the best way that I could possibly think of, and that's for free. That's the best way I can think to help anybody. And if you watch my last episode, I explained it to you. If you bring to the table what you have to give, and you don't put a condition on it, while you feeding others, it'll feed you in return. So when you help me, don't worry about it, because like they said, you'll receive it in return, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Don't worry about me paying you back, because you're going to get more than what you gave. And that's what I'm trying to show you. When I help other people, I'm getting it back in return without them ever paying me, ever trying to compensate me. I'm getting it back because I'm feeding you and you feeding me. Because when I feed you, it's feeding me, because now you happy and I'm happy you happy. Your mental health improves. It hones my mental health. You feeling better about yourself. Now I feel better about myself because you feel better about yourself. You growing and glowing. Now I feel like I'm growing and glowing because I care. And I'm not just looking for a payout. I'm not just looking for a big payday. I'm not looking just to not bleed money. That's not my goal, because I understand that regardless of how much money you have right now, you could still be bleeding money, and it's not no guarantee you're gonna be able to hold on to it You are watching people right now lose their family farms. How are they losing their family farms? Because the conditioned thinking that they were in and they didn't understand. You need to understand how to think in a way that you could use your natural resources in order to get what you want. The adroit living, you have to hone your adroit living skills so that you can hold on to money even throughout the era, throughout the political, debacles, throughout catastrophic events. Regardless of what may come or what may go, you have to be able to have that steady flow of income so you're not bleeding money. And if you are conditioned to recognize where you are or when you are not bleeding money, you can modify your life right away. And the faster you catch it, the more money you save. And the more money you save, the more money you have for later. So when the economy fluctuates, you on a firm foundation. When everybody else is furloughed, you like, yeah, I need my money, I need my check, but I'm still going to the grocery store on the first of the month. I'm about that's what I do. On the first of the month, I go to the grocery store. I would go to the commissary, regardless whether we got furloughed, whatever was going on. On the first of the month, I always went because that's when they restock the store. And a lot of times you can get sales, fresh products, and everything. So that's why I would do that regardless. But I was already in the condition thinking to save money, to cut corners, to make sure I have the money so I can keep food in my house. So that my husband didn't feel like he was working for nothing. So my husband didn't feel like, oh, we bleed money and no matter what I do, I can't get up. We drown it in debt and I can't get up and I can't even afford to feed my family. And now we furloughed, so it's like logical that I can't, pay the bills and pay. We didn't have that problem because I was conditioned to think, to behave in a manner in which sustained us to keep us regardless of the fluctuations. And if you have that same mindset, you know what I'm talking about. But for those who don't know, this is what you want to understand in this economy. You want to understand how to modify your life so you can live adroitly and have the things that you need without spending a lot of money, without bleeding money. And how can you do it? I'm at the end of my episode, so you're going to have to rewind. And you're going to have to watch it a couple of times because it hit different each time you watch it. Watch with a different mindset. A lot of times people, they're like, well, my mental health is so bad that I can't really understand what you're saying. Can you repeat that? No, but you can rewind. You could go find the episode and you can watch it as many times as you need to, as many times as you want to, for you to understand the assignment too. So like, subscribe, share, but more importantly, ring the notification bell so the next time I'm on, you could come on, you could comment, we could discuss it. You could ask questions for free. I will answer it generally the best way I can for free. But if you want more paid information, I can help you with that too. I might not take you on as a client because my clientele it's a particular reputation, so I like to maintain that. So, but I do have other people that I can outsource you to, that I can tell you, well, this is a good person you could go to. This is somebody. It's a network. But me specifically, I have a very heavy workload because there's a reputation that I like to maintain, and the my clientele, they are elite people who appreciate discretion, and I appreciate them, and they show their appreciation financially. So that's how I see it. You could tell me all day, but that's how I see it. Why? Because I have bills too. I have kids. I have a mortgage. I have a car note. I got a whole husband, okay? And that's the whole expense all by itself. You men talk about us women costing you a lot of money. But what about them males who are straight divas and cost a lot of money? And they want this, they want that. And a lot of times a man may not say it, but you know, a good woman knows. And she knows it's expensive. And yeah, one time I bought Eddie a camera that cost $3,000. So don't tell me men don't have those same expenses. It may not be as frequent as a woman who wants $3,000 to get her hair done, and some extra money if she gonna get a mani pedi, and an extra money so she could tip everybody. But I'm just saying, this is not the economy for those shenanigans. Watch the episode, rewind. It's on YouTube, and I support YouTube because they're not the type of platform that will only display your recordings for 30 days and then take it down. And then nobody knows where to find that information. Nobody can get the help that you just provided. Nobody can find the facts that you just presented them. I'm just saying, I don't like that kind of business and that kind of organization. I'm not saying no names, but if that kind of organization is a part of social media, you might consider the strong possibility that you bleed in money. I only talked about products and companies that will not cost me problems because I'm not sponsored. And if you sponsor me or you hire me in order to help you with your organization, then I'm going to tell you facts and you're going to prosper. But I'm trying not to bash anybody that's doing the things that costing the organization to bleed money. But go on YouTube, find the video. Are you bleeding money? Conditioned thinking could be costing you. But that's my time for today. Remember, mental health is physical wealth. I'll see you next episode.
Mental health is physical wealth.